Yes, yeah. I think a lot of sports last year ended up getting to have a somewhat normal season for those of the sports that were in the winter and into the spring. But for these guys, their season got completely wiped out. And even though they did get to compete in one race in the spring, it was definitely a different style of racing and a lower level of racing than what they're used to in a typical season. So very excited to be here just a few days out from the start of our season with a full schedule, and things are looking like they're going to progress and we're going to get to have a real championship season and the kind of racing these guys deserve and have earned with their training.
Madison, you've been on the program for a couple of years now, but
yeah.
The long hiatus, what are you thinking going into Saturday?
I'm just excited to be back on the road with the team again. Last season was a really long season just with not having races in between training and everything. We really bonded over not having races, so being able to do that with the freshmen from last year that are now sophomores as well as freshmen from this year is really exciting. It's a really good bonding experience for everybody.
Same question to you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that the energy on the team has been really good lately. Everyone's excited to kind of get back out there and get in shape. And then we're also really excited to have like our NCAA races again, the ones that we're traveling to for the regional qualifiers and nationals.
So with the success that you've had, previously, to do nothing last year, it was like, okay, well, I guess we'll run today and we'll bike today and I guess we'll go swim a little bit. I mean, how hard was that mentally to stay involved in the sport knowing that, well, we think we're going to be able to compete in one race?
I think mentally it was really challenging for a lot of us. We kind of helped each other get through it though, and just like the support of teammates and everyone going through it together. It was a little bit harder on our bodies too, just without taper weeks and rest weeks, and so we were kind of training straight through, and so we got in really good shape, but then we didn't really get to show it until the spring at that one race. And so I think that just the support of each other helped us kind of get through it, but it was definitely different. It was a little bit tough, like going through it during the school year.
The main competition you had was running in the cross-country race in the fall. I mean, it's like, okay, that's a triathlete, it was, but it was competition. Was that just kind of, a little bit of a carrot there? It's like we could feel a little bit of competition there?
Yeah, it was really, really fun just to be back doing any kind of racing. At that point, I think we're all getting a little tired of practicing every day in and out, so having that little, like you said, carrot of racing was a treat.
Never been a distance athlete, but has the season that we didn't have last season changed the goals for this season?
I think a little bit. We've always had pretty big goals for the team in general, but I think that getting a good whole year of training helped everyone stay in shape so that when we come back, we just kind of had to maintain that, and then we can also race hopefully just as well as we have in the past or even better. And we also have a lot of really good freshmen on the team this year too. So
You had asked about their motivation, and I'll say it was pretty impressive in the spring how even we had a race on the schedule, but races had been canceled before, so even that one that was on the schedule was kind of an unknown. It was very impressive how they didn't really let up, that they kept pushing hard in training day after day. And I think that having a whole year of that, some of these early season races will maybe see better results than a typical early season race because they're just building on all of that fitness that they gained last spring and over the summer.
See, I know a lot of triathletes, okay, I'm a runner, I'm pretty good on the bike, swimming, there's one of the three that might not be your strength. Did it happen in the basic year? Did that have a lot of the girls working on strengthening that one weakness? Can you see that a little bit this year?
I think, I know for me personally, my weakness is the running part, and so we tried to work a lot on that. And then with all 3 disciplines, we were doing a lot of training for each. So we were in the water a lot more last year than we have been, because that's something that our team as a whole group can definitely improve on. And so we worked on that a ton last year.
Just with the hours and stuff, just having not as much racing to go to, we really worked on doing like bricks and things, so combining the 2 things to make it stronger. So
it allowed for more consistencies. When you're racing, you're tapering down for each race, resting for each race, and so having a whole semester where they were just training without those interruptions, a challenge certainly, but an opportunity to work on weaknesses and get better in all 3.
We were talking earlier a little bit about the format of this week. Maybe you can explain that a little bit, and then maybe the mindset of a sprint race and those distances.
Yeah, so this weekend is a little bit different than a majority of our competitions. For most of the competitions that we'll do, it'll be a 750-meter swim, a 12-mile bike that is draft legal, and then a 5K run. So this week, the swim is shorter. It's a 400-meter swim, a 12-mile bike where they are not allowed to draft, which definitely changes the race dynamic and who potentially could have success, and then finishing up with a 5K run just like normal. In a race like this weekend where they're not going to be allowed to draft, and since it's a shorter swim, it's really going to favor the strong cyclists, where in the typical style of racing that we do with a little bit longer swim, if you're weaker in the swim, you can come out behind. If you're in the wrong bike group, that can make or break your race. So when it's not draft legal, it's all on you, and it's more of an individual effort on the bike and really gives those cyclists a chance to shine. And we are a strong team on the bike, so I think we'll see some good results this weekend.
What's one thing you must do before every competition?
I have like a lot of superstition kind of thing. Like us personally or the team as a whole?
Both.
I feel like as a team, we always eat a lot before. I know that's kind of typical, but like carbo load, like everyone is trying to get, and like we're drinking like 3 to 4 hydro flasks in a day and things like that. So as a team, I feel like that's like our like the night before, everyone tries to eat a ton. And then like personally for mine, at the start line, like if you're talking right before the race starts, I have to crack like everything in my body. So I know it's weird, but I crack like my knuckles, my neck, my back, like my ankles and everything that's like my weird superstition, I guess, but that's literally at the start line. That's right before, so.
Something I like to do, I like to visualize my race like the night before, so I'll take a moment to myself. Either that's in like a hotel room or maybe somewhere else in the hotel just by myself, really go through my race, think the ins and outs and everything, just to make sure that I have a plan for the morning. So, yeah.
That too, yeah.
Oh, me too? Well, I would say I've only coached this team in one race before, but I was 100 times more excited than I ever was for one of my own individual races. And so maybe tempering that a little bit because I'm going to be loud and excited, and some people need that and some people maybe need a little more calming presence. So trying to just relax and take some deep breaths maybe.
Good.